Hello everybody. Lovely to see everyone arriving. Welcome to Tea with the Druid 258. Whether you're watching this as a recording or live this evening, it's lovely to see you. It's brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovids and Druids. And here we have Alice from North Scotland, Jasmina from, it's gone. It's going up so quickly. Steamy South Florida. That's why I mentioned the places rather than people's names, actually, because it goes so fast. It's quicker to say places. Texas, Cornwall, Bedfordshire, Santiago de Chile, Bedfordshire, Ardnamurchan, Southern Germany, Tampa, Florida, Bromley, West Yorkshire, sunny London, Bognor Regis, Prince Edward Island, Canada, New Zealand, hooray! Fantastic. So good to see you. Utrecht, from the far north. Barkham, just up the road. Great. West Wales, New Jersey. So lovely to see everybody. We're having some lovely weather, really beautiful weather, and we've just got back from Scotland. We were up in Edinburgh for a couple of weeks, and that was just splendid and lovely there too. So let's tune in together as everyone arrives, coming into the circle, and just tune into the week that you've had this last week. And just see if a word or two sums it up or characterizes it. If you had to say how your week had been up to now, what would that word be? It's good training in one sort of intuition or letting go, really, because I don't know how you find these things, but my mind immediately tries to think of an answer. But if you just let it, sick, moving forward, sun-bleached after a long weekend outside, desolate, crampy, adventurous, great, hectic and confusion. I have no clue why I'm so sleepy, chaotic, anxiety as I'm being evicted. I'm so sorry to hear that. Productive, topsy-turvy, chilled, stressful, inspiring, stagnant, amazingly beautiful. Joy with nostalgia, pressured, quiet and content, recovering, busy feeding fox cubs, excited not only to be here, but looking forward to my wedding on the 21st of June. Congratulations in advance. Guilt-ridden laziness. That sounds wonderful. Sleepy too. Disappointing. I hope you don't think I was being facetious. But it sounds kind of interesting. A bit late. Hello from Texas. Worried. Toothache. Helping. Highly surprised in a positive sense. Great. Resting. Joyful and anxious. Happy in my dreamland Bretagne. Mixed, lots of good colors in there. Yeah, it's a nice way to think. If my week was a palette, what palette would it be? Chaotic sleeping routine. We'll have to talk about that. I am 80. Congratulations, Claire. Fantastic. Hi from Sintra in Portugal. Great. Calm, grateful. Happy to have spent the day in the garden. Yes, I spent the day in the garden too. It was fantastic. Still standing. Hooray, reconnecting. What a wide range of responses. That's amazingly rich, really. It's like a great colored tapestry. Yes, I've had a really busy, colorful week, lots of activity, lots of things to do, and I can feel, when I tune in to the energy in the land, apologies to those in New Zealand who I saw, and anybody in the southern hemisphere, but for those of us in the northern hemisphere, I can feel that familiar feeling which happens from Beltane to the summer solstice. We're almost exactly halfway now. We've got about 3.5 weeks to go to the summer solstice. And what happens is there's a kind of ramping up of the energy. If you think about it, the earth is, that idea of the fat of the land. It feels very fat down here in Sussex. It's very green and luscious and fulsome, very fulsome. There's just masses of foliage, masses of flowers, masses of it's all there. And nature is straining to give birth to all this. And there's a certain kind of tension that can build, which sometimes in the human sphere can mean there's so much energy flowing through us that it can get a little bit chaotic, a little bit frenzied, a little tense. See how that feels. One always has to be careful of the sort of self-fulfilling prophecy here, and that you start to imagine that you're feeling something that perhaps you weren't. But no, over the years, I've noticed that in this time from Beltane to the summer solstice, there's a kind of ratcheting up or increase of energy that can sometimes create even anger in people, tension, conflict, difficulty. See if that matches with your experience, particularly if you're familiar with following the eightfold wheel of the year. I don't think it's just me. I've talked with other people about this. And my sense is that the sort of love affair between the sun and the earth is building up to its climax in about 3 weeks' time, where it's at the most intense, the solstice, and then the energy is going to start to wane and drop down again as we move into the harvest period. So it definitely feels intoxicating, says Nancy. Lisa Horn says that absolutely does. Kind of jangly. Yes, that's another good word for it. Florabella, yes, I feel very tense. David Jones, solar plexus energy seems to ramp up at this time, inner and outer. Yeah. Nathalie saying it feels unsettling and exciting. Brian, yes, too much sun is like too much cake or sugar. It makes it feel too rich. Yes. Yes, I never connected it seasonally before, but yes, says Philosophical Phoenix. Yes, says Fambio, a lot of energy flowing, making things clear for me, but also making people angry. Yeah, Brianna is saying, I've had issues sleeping recently, and it fits with this time period. There's very interesting perspective to look at one's sleep cycles in relation to the seasons. We definitely sleep more. Some recent research just came out about this, or the suggestion is that we tend to sleep more during the winter, which figures, and sleep less during the summer. I feel a bit manic, says Franny. Didn't put the two together. Yeah. So I think the way that Druidry can help us, or nature-based spirituality can help us, is that when you start to see that your feelings are more than just your own, one of the first steps in psychotherapy is owning your feelings, not denying them, not projecting them onto other people or other situations, owning them and recognizing them as your own, and that you're being driven perhaps by dynamics and conflicts and so on that you need to look at and resolve and so on. But there's another step, I think, as well, to take us into the transpersonal, the beyond personal, which is to say, yes, my feelings are my own. I accept responsibility for them, but I'm also a being who's connected with others. So other people's feelings around me are going to affect me, but also the energies in the earth are going to affect me and in the atmosphere. I used to have an office way back with about 10 people working in there. I used to come in the morning, and if I had a headache, I used to walk in and say to everybody, I've got a headache today. Has anybody else got one? And very often, virtually everybody would say, yeah, I've got a headache too. And we figured out that it was the air pressure that we were responding to. So there's a kind of relief in knowing that you don't have to bear the burden of your feelings or take responsibility for it all yourself. That you can say, well, maybe I'm being influenced by the season. So if I'm feeling tense, a bit manic, a bit jangly, or there's some sort of kind of conflicts going on around me and all the rest of it, maybe it's something to do with this period, and maybe it's going to shift after the summer solstice in a couple of weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, something like that. So that's where we find ourselves. And in a minute, I'll suggest a meditation where we can really tune in with this and just allow this feeling of this period between Beltane and the summer solstice to flow through us. But first of all, I have to mention Yewtube. And by Yewtube, I mean Yewtube. This is an initiative undertaken by a member that's just so wonderful. I just have to share it with you. You know, there's something that we started a way back called the Private Magicians Club. And it's for when people do the Lessons in Magic course that I teach online, and the 2 tarot courses that I teach with Steve Hansen, Transformation Through Tarot and the Tarot Chakra Journey. And when you enroll on those courses, you can access the Private Magicians Club. And this is a private Facebook group. And there are about 600 members in it. And we meet once a month. We have a live session, and then people exchange and all the rest of it. So it's great fun. And one of the things we did right at the beginning is we built the club on the astral plane in the imaginal world. We built it with, you know, beautiful gardens and grounds and different rooms. And an ongoing theme is members discovering new rooms in the club. So early on, somebody, you know, came up on the message feed saying, I've just found the wine cellar. And then somebody else would discover the crystal cave down in the basement, and somebody else would discover different things. Well, one of our members, Alan, has discovered the Woodland cinema, the Yewtube Woodland cinema. And he's done something utterly extraordinary. I'm going to pop the URL. He has gone through every single tea with the Druid and given a link to the meditation in each of the 257 teas with a Druid. Put in the URL here. And then he's designed a little piece of artwork for each one to illustrate the theme. And he's presented it on a page, which he's calling, it's a special website called zadogo.com/Yewtube, YEW And when you click on the little picture, there's a teapot, tea with a Druid, little teapot with the year on it. So it starts 2017, so it's 5 years worth. 2017, the teapot. And then you'll see a number of little pictures. And you click on the picture, and it plunges you straight into the meditation for that particular Tea with a Druid episode. So you can skip all the rambly bits where I'm chatting away, and you go whap straight into these meditations. So there you go. Thank you, Alan, for doing that. That's just extraordinary, an amazing and cool thing to do. So yeah, thank you, Alan. Just brilliant. And I've put the link in, and there we go. So, but I hope Alan's going to keep doing it. Here, Alan, the picture, I can give you a clue, will be of a little cluster of hawthorn trees, because I don't know whether it's the case for wherever you are in the world, but the hawthorns are just in full bloom. They're just fabulous at the moment. It's all the May trees. So it's very of the moment, of now, this time. And I'm going to invite us to be in our grove, to sense the May trees around us. And if we want to become the May tree, to become a May tree, and just open to that wonderful sense of the sap rising, the smell of the flowers, all that wonderful white, the color, if you like, of the flowers. So let's do that and just relax into that and open to it. So if you're willing to do that, you might like to close your eyes to better concentrate. And just to be aware of being seated where you are, here and now, fully present. And yet, as you do that, it's almost like allowing yourself to feel fully present where you are physically now, allows you to relax into an awareness of being in the sacred grove. Your sense of the floor beneath you, the walls around you, excuse me, the ceiling above you fades away. And you find yourself coming into the grove, or perhaps already being seated in it. And you see that this time there are lots of hawthorns. Perhaps you hadn't noticed how many hawthorns there are in this grove. This is just wonderful. There's this smell of hawthorn blossom, May blossom. It's quite a strong, pungent smell, very much of this time of year. And you might like to sit beneath a hawthorn tree, leaning your back against it, and just opening to the spirit of this tree. And you can either stay in this position, or you might sense the hawthorn tree, the spirit of the tree, inviting you to meld with it, to become at one with it just for a little while, just to feel what it feels like to be a hawthorn tree. And if you feel like accepting the invitation, just allow yourself to feel the roots now, just moving down into the earth, really kind of locking into the earth and connecting in the earth. Feeling the soil around your roots. Feeling how good it feels to have roots. And as you breathe in, you can feel the energy from the soil, from the earth, flowing up your roots into your trunk. And you sense your trunk now. The bark, the inner part of the trunk, the sap flowing up, the branches, and then all the leaves and blossoms. And perhaps using the smell of the blossoms as your focus, or perhaps the white of the flowers, the firmness of the trunk. Let's just sit together quietly as hawthorn trees. And as you open to being a hawthorn tree, you realize that there's nothing you need to do. It's just completely natural. And in fact, the less you do, the less you strain, the less you try, the deeper you can go. Just being present in your heart, in your being, here. And the hawthorn is particularly connected to the heart. It's good for the blood pressure. It's good for the heart. It's completely attuned to the heart in this time of May, which is a time of love. And you sense now the other trees around you in a circle. And you realize that you're connected to all these trees through your roots. Your roots aren't self-contained, but they are connected through the mycelium with all the other roots in this circle. These are your brothers and sisters, all these other trees. And as you breathe the scent of May blossom in and out, you know how the scent is traveling far from this circle. Animals, birds, human beings can all smell this scent, and insects too. And gradually allow yourself to thank the tree and to become aware of yourself as a human being standing in front of it now, amongst a circle, and step forward a few paces and take the hands of the person to either side of you. And all of us are standing here in the circle with the circle of hawthorns behind us, all the white May blossom. And holding a hand to either side of us, we ask that all of life be blessed. We sense the animals of the forest, the birds and the insects, and we ask that they be preserved and protected and blessed. We swear by peace and love to stand, heart to heart and hand in hand. And we glance at our fellow travelers around the circle, our companions in the circle. We squeeze the hand to either side of us, and then we let our hands drift to our hearts, and we all just gently bow in honor of each other. Each of us a unique being, but each of us connected in the web of life. And then slowly your awareness moves to the warmth you can feel at your heart. And as you notice that warmth at your heart, allow the warmth to spread now around your body from your heart. Start to feel a warm glow in your arms, your shoulders and neck, your head, and down in your abdomen and tummy, your hips, your thighs, your legs, glowing with warmth and energy. Gradually allow your awareness of being in the sacred grove to fade as you become aware of being seated in your room, retaining that feeling of warmth in your body. And when you feel when you feel ready, you open your eyes. A huddle of hawthorns. Some make hawthorn tinctures for the heart. Yes, you can buy it in health food stores even. It's well known, the benefits of the hawthorn tree for the heart. Lovely. I'm just putting some quotes up on the screen. I could smell the blossom. Great. So I very much look forward to hearing, to reading all the comments. And you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And just see how you feel with this energy. See if is this what is happening? Is there some kind of ramping up of the energy? And is there a way that I can just open to it and not take it all on board, as it were, but to say this is part of the natural flow. Things will change. See how you feel with that. And I very much look forward to seeing you next week, next Monday. Okay, many, many blessings. Much love. Okay, bye.